Happy Facebook Live. Happy Wednesday. Welcome. I'm Melissa Thomas from C2C Stamping, and this is my Wednesday craft class. Today, we are going to take some of our pretty paper and we're going to use it up. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this project. I'm going to show you, we're going to make it, and then I have an offer for you to get the PDF for it. So, let me switch you guys down, but then let me also go ahead and make sure that we can see everybody. So if you're here, say hello. Hi, Sharon. Welcome. All right, so we're gonna do a nice way to use up lots and lots of your pretty patterned paper. Hey, Jill. All right. So here we go. I can see. Good. So I can see all the comments. Yay. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, Sharon. Wow. That's a tongue twister. All right. So let me rotate you guys down and let's do this. All right. So there we go. I'm just going to make sure we've got everything in range and I kind of know my boundaries, right? That's always important to kind of know where you're at and which you're. Okay, so this is the hostess code right now, ZJYMJJ23. It's a really wild hostess code, but I'm going to encourage that you guys go ahead and take advantage of it. And the reason is, I'm going to write hostess code on here so we know. All right. Because I'm going to send you, we're doing this designer series paper sale this month, and we have lots of pretty designer series paper that's on sale, the pansies being one of them, but you can use any designer series paper that you want, and I have a cut and scoring guide for this. So you're going to want six 6x6 pieces of designer series paper, and then this is actually going to make 14 cards. So you're going to want to go ahead and get 14 card bases out, probably in, coordinating color. So I decided to go a little dark with this, and so I did a lot of Blackberry Bliss. Jill and I were just talking about that color today, and some polished pink and some soft succulent. But with this one, I mean, you could use, there's a bazillion colors in the pansies. Bumblebee and Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, Soft Seafoam. And it's got a ton of colors. So we're going to cut this paper. And before we cut it, I wanted to show you two of the cards I got last week from my daughter. She went to camp and she made a mommy shark card for me. And then she sent me this card that her friend had, but she put a sticker there. So anyways, it was super sweet. I'm always excited to get happy mail from my kid. And then I did get my paper pumpkin in, which came faster than it has the last couple of months, which is great. And it's really cool. So this month's paper pumpkin, we knew it was kind of nature themed, but it says like, let your light shine, the world awaits you. Let the adventure begin, explore, congrats, dream big, aim high. And then it has a really nice tree and some little like butterflies and some like needles. I'm assuming these are like pine needles. It has garden green as the stamp, as the ink. And then it makes, I think, 12 cards. Yeah, so it makes 4 of each of these designs. There's one with a camper on it, which is super cute. And then there's one with the trees. And then there's one with the lantern on it that's really neat. So this is a really cool kit. This is the one we got this month. It says June 2021, but it's really the July kit. That's an interesting typo. That'll definitely be confusing for me. And then the next month's box is actually, it's called the Hope Box. It's designed by Shelley Gardner, and it has beautiful butterflies, a lot of this like really pretty gradient ombre look. So you definitely can tell it's got like, some polished pink and maybe some mint macaron or soft seafoam. Really pretty card kit, but it also talks a lot about how to create a hope box for either yourself or for someone else if they're looking, if you want to send them a box of, hope, and you can put Bible verses and things like that in there. So anyway, really cool. Let me know if you want more information about next month's Hope Box. You can start subscribing to that now. And then I have a Paper Pumpkin play date. It's the first Sunday of the month. I need to see when that falls this month, but okay. So we've got our cards, our card bases, and I'm just gonna set these aside. And then we've got our paper, and we're going to get our paper cutter. And I'm gonna get my guillotine out because I know I can cut a lot of paper. This is an old cutter. But we're gonna wanna cut at 2.5, and you're going to want to make sure that all your paper is oriented the same way. So it needs to be up and down this way. So these are fine. So we're going to cut it 2.5 or 3.5, whichever, one way or the other. It looks like my pages are going to be a little off, so that might end up causing me issues later, but for now, that'll be okay. All right, and then the side that you cut at 2.5, so this half, we're going to go ahead and cut at 1 3/4. And then you're going to cut it at 1 3/4 again. And that's going to leave you a piece that's 2.5 by 2.5. Okay? So I'm going to kind of lay that out so that I can remember where everything came from. And then on this side, the side that was 3.5, we're going to cut it at 2 3/4. And then we're going to cut it at 3/4, and that'll leave a 2.5-inch piece. So I'm actually just going to cut the 2.5-inch because that'll be easier for me to cut on my guillotine. So, all right, and then we're going to do the same thing with this second set. But again, making sure that our orientation, this does have an up-down orientation. So we've got to make sure those guys are good. So we're going to cut it at 2.5. Well, we'll do 3.5 on this one. All right, so this piece that's 2.5, right? Again, we're cutting at 1 3/4. And then we're going to cut at 1 3/4. And that leaves us some squares. And then this piece that's 3.5 wide, we're going to cut at 2 3/4. And that was the wrong one. That's okay, I'll make it work. And then 2.5. It's okay. You won't know that it's from the top or the bottom of the paper. So, okay. All right, so we've cut all of our paper. Excellent. Okay. So we've got all of our paper, all our pieces. Just trying to keep them in some semblance of order so I can remember what goes where. All right, so these, the cubes, you have 6 pieces, and this is going to make 3 cards. We have to cut a slit that's 1 1/4 way to the halfway mark. So I do need to get my paper trimmer out to do this. So you're going to cut a slit on this side at 1 1/4, and we're going to cut it to 1 1/4. So it's basically like halfway in, and that's why you need the trimmer to do this. So 1 1/4, yeah. And then I'm going to do the same thing, right? This corner, so that right-hand side of that piece, 1 1/4. And I'm going to stand up so I can see it well on the cutter. And I'm going to cut that. And then we're going to again do that right-hand side. again, do that right hand side. Okay. And then we're again going to do that right hand side. And I'm just looking to make sure that these aren't directionally oriented wrong. All right. So what we're going to do, let's start with these, is we're going to, there's 6 pieces, and we're going to match them into pairs, and pairs that we like. So maybe we, really like this busy pattern, but we want to pair it with something, softer. Maybe we, I would say probably this, and maybe this one. And then I think I like it like that. Okay, so we're going to pair those guys together. And using the slits, we're going to slide the 2 cubes together. So we're going to slide them together. Maybe. It's like origami. Okay. And then we're going to fold back the flaps and adhere. So you're going to fold back a flap. And then you're going to fold back a flap. And so what this does is it actually gives us all 4 patterns of the paper, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get a little bit of tape. And isn't that interesting though? Like, just thought that was it's pretty fun. All right, and so then with this, we just need to make sure now it's like, here, this is what happens when you do it. But we just want to make sure that these pieces adhere to, right? So we're gonna put a little bit of adhesive here. Sorry, I'm such a mess today. Me and the adhesive are struggling. All right, so we're gonna do, so this one will go here, and we'll line it up with the edge so that we're, sorry, I didn't realize how far out of view I was. And then do the same thing here. Just put a little bit of glue back there. And then if they don't line up perfectly, you can just get your snips in there, right? And you can say, try to, you never saw that, right? And then we're going to put that on one of our card bases. So we could put that one on, we could do something like that where we put it on this one. We could put it on one of the green ones if we think that that looks a little nicer. There's a lot of green on this one. So, maybe this looks cuter. Maybe we like the flowers like that. So we can do that. And then I do not have the pansy stamp set, and that's okay, because the way that this goes together is you can use any sentiment and any stamp that you have. And I really wanted, and any punch, so you can pick out whatever punch you want to use and whatever sentiment you want to use. So I still love the Everyday Label Punch, and I want to play with the Biggest Wish stamp set. So I'm going to get some soft succulent, and I'm going to get some blackberry bliss, probably. And we're going to have some fun with these 2 colors. So we can You can always have thank you cards, right? We're going to do thanks and friend. And we're going to keep this pretty consistent. So we've got thanks, and it might be better to do thanks on that one. Yeah, there we go. All right. And then we just need a piece of white cardstock. I promise I have white cardstock around here somewhere, right? All right, so we're going to get our piece of white cardstock, and we're going to, I think it'll probably be easier just to punch these out. So I'm just going to punch, and I'm going to need a bunch of these, but eventually I'll need 14. But for now, let's punch a couple and stamp a couple. So we've got that cute little fold, and we're going to stamp the thanks in the soft succulent. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. And then we're going to stamp. Oh, if I can get this open. This is a brand new stamp pad. So we're going to stamp friend and Blackberry Bliss. Right on top. Blackberry Bliss is super dark, so it's really easy for us to stamp that. Now, if we wanted to, we could stamp off, right? We could say, okay, I don't want that thanks to be quite that dark. 1, 2, 3. And we could lighten that up considerably, but still keep that friend right, nice and dark. So you've got that option as well. I like it light. I think that's nice. I almost dipped it into the Blackberry Bliss. So, hey Terry, hey Julie, hey Pat. Your link said 7:30. Was that an old one? 7:30 what, Lynn? That's funny. Generally, I go live at 7, if that's what you're asking about. But, oh, that one's crooked. All right, you guys got to keep me straight. Oh, and almost did it in the wrong ink color again. I gotta keep an eye on things. I am easily distracted today. Happy birthday, Jill, by the way. Woot woot. Always fun to celebrate your birthday with, hundreds of your favorite friends. So, all right. So that gives us a couple of sentiments just to give us an idea as we try to lay these out. And then what I'll do is when we're done tonight, I'll post a picture of all the finished cards. But I'll show you kind of how to make the first one. So this is going to go here, and then we're going to put this on top. We might, kind of put it down. We might, I think I'll probably put mine over here. With this shape, you can also, maybe I won't use my scissors, maybe I'll use my little chopper. You can also kind of cut an end off and make it flat. Oh. And so I could do something like that even, right, and have that little square edge, or I could, pull the square edge all the way tight against that side. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of ribbon flare. So I can just pick a color of ribbon and use it in all of the projects. So maybe I want to use some fresh freesia because there's not a ton of fresh freesia. Like I'm not using any fresh freesia card bases or anything like that. And then I might end up just adhering it with a little glue dot, or I might go wild and pull out our very vintage stapler and staple it, which is kind of cute. So something like so. So that's kind of a cool way to use up this paper, right? To use up any paper is that you can, bring these two squares together, and then all you're doing here is you're just folding one flat back and getting, that angle and that paper. And then when you fold this flat back, then you get this one. And so now you've got a really interesting, piece. And then if one piece is too long or too, whatever, like obviously this piece is too long, then I'm going to have to trim that up a little bit and, fix that. But that's kind of cool. I think that looks neat. And that one would definitely look good on, right, our Blackberry Bliss for sure. So maybe with a little darker sentiment. So, all right, so there's one. There's two, right? Then this one, let's see what happens when we fold these two guys back. Because I don't know this paper as well. I haven't done like a full class with it. So if I fold this one back, what's exposed? Now that's like a pansy. And I'm like, I was like, all right, okay, well then let's do that. I'm gonna get a nice pansy this way. It's almost like friends with its neighbor there. And then this way, oh, the bumblebee. Ooh. Oh, the bumblebee. All right. So that's cute. And I think that one has all the colors. I think that one's going to have to go on Blackberry Bliss too. That's really cute. I think we could probably rotate it a little bit. But that's really cute. Okay. So that's the squares. So now the next pieces, right? So we're going back over to our designer series paper, right, that we've cut, right? We've got lots of pieces over here. And we're going to look at these two rectangles up here, okay? So these two rectangles, so now we've got a whole bunch of them, right? And these ones we're going to mix and match, and we're just going to put them on cards. So in this case, we could say, I want to do, maybe I want to have some full pansies on some, but maybe I want to have, some of these partial pansies. Maybe I want to make sure I have some gingham, and maybe some stripes. So maybe I want to do something like that that's a little more, monotone. So these are fun because you can just put these on here, in any pattern, or way that you want. And maybe, you're just going to kind of stack them a little haphazard. And then, you can put that on there. You could also stack it very neatly if you really wanted to. You could run this. It actually runs the full length of the card. So you could run it, very tight. You could stagger it, right? So you could say, you could do something like that where you stagger them. You could, stagger them like this too. I like that. I think that looks really cute. So I might do something like that on that one, right? So with that, so I'm just going to get my adhesive and put some paper down. So this one's very, monotone, right? And then we've got our little sentiment, and maybe we're gonna, pop that up on dimensionals and add a little of the ribbon, right, on the side. So that's easy. All right, so then making my pile of cards here. And by the end of tonight, I'll have 14 cards made, and that'll be fun. All right, so other fun pieces of paper. So I don't love the bumblebee only because I'm not using it in a ton of cards. I do like the polka dots. Ooh, I like that too. That's cute with that one. That's kind of cute. All right, let's look at like one of these polished pink guys and see what we can do. Ooh, yeah, that's bright. That's a lot of. So like two of the tighter patterns maybe, and a gingham. So You know, this is one of those like play the matching game. No, maybe. Hmm, yeah, I think something like that is really cute. So that's another card, right? So we can leave that one over there. And now we've got this, and we've got this, which is super ginghamy. Is that a word? Oh, that's cute. So we can do one of those on like a Blackberry Bliss, maybe this one if we want it to really, wow, look at that. That really pops when you put it on there. And then with this one, maybe we want to, you get two very different looks, right? When you put it with that and that. So, all right, now, all right, now we've got this large top piece. And then we've got, so we're going to set that aside. That's the biggest piece. And then we've got this, which is, we've got all these pretty pieces. And then we've also got a belly band that we can add. So it could be that we want to do, one where it's like, I really like this, and maybe I want to do like a stripe. And then I've got a belly band that I can, add on there. So let's see what belly band would look cute with that. Maybe, I like that. So we can slide that under here. So with this one, all we're doing is we're just taking these two pieces and we're gonna put them on the card together. So we've got one piece, and then we've got two pieces. So some people, I'm not pointing fingers, hoard their paper, right? They collect paper. We went by a yarn shop today and they had beautiful yarn, but there's definitely people who are like collectors of yarn, collectors of, paper, whatever. And the problem with that is that you end up collecting and you have so much of it. Look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? Um, and then you're not going through your stuff. And then you start to feel guilty about the stuff that you do have because you haven't used it, right? So in this case, I want you to be able to get some paper out and use it and not feel guilty about having lots of, pretty paper, because we don't want you to feel guilty. That's no good. Ooh, look at that. That's cute. I like this one. Let me see. What's the back side of this? No. Okay. Looks like nope. All right, what are we going to do? What's our little midway point there? No, that one doesn't look good. Maybe we'll swap this. And maybe we'll go darker on the bottom and flowers on the bottom. All right, what do we think? Yeah, I like it with the flowers on the bottom. Now we've got a couple of extra pieces. So we're going to use these on a card as well in a minute. So these guys, I think we could probably do this one on the pink. Oh, yeah, that's pretty. And then we can do this one on Blackberry Bliss. So remember, hide the worm, right? You've got two sides that you've scored on. You have the valley and the mountain, and this is the worm, you're going to hide the worm. So that's going to give you the nicest fold on your cards. Oh, wow, that's really pretty. Okay, that's going to be great. All right, so now we've got 3 leftover pieces, and we're actually going to take these and we're going to cut them in half. So this piece is 3.5 inches long, so we're going to cut them at 1.5, 1 3/4. Do you like that? I'm like, oh, math. All right, where? Whoop. All right, good. And then we're going to do something fun with that one too. All right, and then we've got these last large pieces. Whoops. So the last large pieces, we've got 6 pieces. We're going to have 3 of them are going to be background pieces, and 3 of them are going to be hearts that we punch off. So in this case, I would recommend, I don't know where that other gingham is, but I would probably recommend that these guys be the background and these be the heart punches. Remember, we've got 2 heart punches. We've got a heart punch with scallops, and then we've got a heart punch that's just a heart, and they actually layer, they nest inside of each other. So we're going to, oh, that's bizarre. I'm looking at these instructions and I'm like, say what? All right, so it says fold in half, cut a symmetrical heart, then cut another heart from the middle of the first heart. Oh, I see how they did this. Oh, this is funny. Okay. I see how they did this. So they cut with the heart punch, and they cut it in half like this, and then they came to this heart punch, which is a little wild, and they punched it in half too. But you're wondering, what about this? Oh, that's wild though. That's like hardly going to show. All right, so the idea, I think, was to be able to have like, you know, basically have an edge for your heart, but that's very difficult to do. Very, very difficult to do. So I think we'll just use the inner heart that we got, and I think that's perfectly fine. I don't need that much flair on my project. So we'll do 1 heart punch, and then we'll do another heart punch, and we could probably punch some other smaller hearts or things out of here. Okay, and so I'm going to put these pieces over here. And then with these, we're going to put a piece here, going this way, and then we've got a cute little heart that we can add here, and then we still have our sentiment, right? So we still have a really cute card, right? But we've got our little heart and we've got our DSP. So we're going to be able to do that. I'm probably going to go ahead and do, because I picked the lighter side of these papers, you know, I'm going to want to make sure that this is, you know, on a darker background. And same with this one. I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do a little bit of this and some pale papaya. Actually, I'm going to switch that. Yeah, that one goes there. This one goes here. All right. So I've got these as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then one last card. Can you believe we've made 13 cards already? I know. It's been a long one. This is a very long Facebook Live. Sorry about this. But then we can put our little pieces here. So I think I want to flip them over and see which reverse sides I like better first. So I think those are good. I think these, we'll do one of these. Which leaf is better? I think that leaf is better. All right, I'm arranging. I don't know, we can't have that. No. All right, so these are 6 little scraps that we're going to put on the card, and then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to put a little sentiment in the middle. I might do something different with the ribbon this time, like I might do like a heart-shaped ribbon instead, or what I call like the support ribbon. I'll show you guys that. So these guys, we're just going to, square up as best we can. And we'll put a little gap in between them. Just to give them some good spacing. And we'll try to, line them up as best you can. And if they're a little crooked, it's okay. It's a handmade card, right? And then where's our ribbon? Oh, yeah. So instead with this one, I'm going to do what I call the support ribbon, which is like, it makes like a big loop at the top, and then it's got the little tails at the bottom. And so I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to make the support ribbon, and then the way that I anchor it is I put some glue here on the back, and I'll kind of adjust it, and so I get it just the way I want it on the front. And then I like to make sure it's nice and glued down. And then I'll get my dimensionals, and I will put some dimensionals on the back. And I like to, maybe glue a couple of those pieces down, just so we have, everything's glued down well, and this card isn't gonna, go anywhere. But then that adds a whole lot of pizzazz to the front of that card, just by using a ribbon in maybe a little bit of a different way. So, okay, so that's it. So the idea behind this is the designer series paper is on sale right now. Most of the paper is under $10 for a pack of 12 by 12, which is a great deal. If you use my hostess code this month, I will send you the PDF for the cutting guide for this. So it has like, the cutting guide, it has instructions for each of the cards, and it has a photo as well. And then I'm going to be posting these on my Instagram and Facebook later. So definitely come back to check out all of the finished cards and what they look like. But I hope you enjoyed that. Julie, Terry, everybody else, Pat, Sharon. I know a few people will be watching later. If you're watching later, let me know you're watching the replay. And thanks, y'all. Thanks for watching, and thanks for participating. A couple of things. I'll be sending out a newsletter this week that's announcing my retreat. I am doing a retreat this fall, and so we'll start taking registrations for that in that email. If you're not on my email list, send me your email, and I'm happy to include you. And thank you. Thank you all for supporting me, and supporting this fun craft habit that I have. I appreciate it, and I hope to continue to inspire you and make pretty things. So thanks so much, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.